All right, everybody. Jacob Sundstrom, managing editor at fearthefin.com, joined by Marcus White, staff writer at also fearthefin.com. Sharks just wrapped up a 4-game road swing. Don't look at me like that, Marcus.
Oh,
3 games. That's really professional. Three games in Eastern Canada, 1 game in the Windy City, Chicago, and now they return back home where they'll host Calgary on Tuesday. I've never given the date on these before. I guess I should start doing that. Today is Monday, December 19th, in the year of our Trump, 2016. All right.
2016.
It's clearly dead. So I was going to say the year of our Lord, but God is dead.
You sound like the
Sharks finished that road
villain
trip
in one of those like Christian movies with Melissa Joan Hart.
Yeah. Underwritten, which is clearly redundant. So that this is it's a pretty good road trip. Sharks managed to get 6 points out of a possible 8 on that road swing. They probably didn't deserve to win. I don't know those games. I thought that they played well enough to win the game last night. They probably didn't deserve to win either of those back-to-back games against Toronto or Ottawa. They were pretty fortunate, I thought, in both of those contests. Came from behind late and won both of those in shootouts, which is fine because they've lost games that they probably should have won this year, and that's the way the hockey thing works. So I'm not complaining or anything. What was your takeaway from this Sharks road trip?
I think they played pretty well in Toronto as the game wore on. I thought they came back. That game was really fun to watch. That was probably the most exciting game of the trip because it was just. We don't get many chances to watch Mitch Marner, Michael Nylander, and Austin Matthews and co. And they are absolutely as good as advertised. And the Sharks, I thought, had a good comeback against what I think is a good Toronto Maple Leafs team. It's hard for me to speak those words unironically. Ottawa, definitely you could see that was the second night of the back-to-back, right? And I think that you could definitely tell in that game that they were. Lacking in energy a little bit, but at the same time, they lost a game at home to Ottawa that they probably deserved to win. So, you'll take that win as you can get it. Martin Jones is, establishing himself as a shootout god. And then the Montreal game, I thought they got off to a really hot start. Their power play was dynamite. Couple of first career goals in teal for Timo Meier and David Schlemko. Which is always good to see. And then, you had the Carey Price mini Patrick Waugh meltdown, which was fun. And then I think last night the road trip just really kind of caught up to them. They started strong, they had a good start, and then got down. Really, it was a close game late, and then Chicago, like we were talking about before the show, Chicago got a third goal off an odd man rush if the Sharks were trying to, find a tying goal. And then they added an empty netter to make the score appear a lot less closer than it was. So, 6 points out of 8 on a road trip against those teams, you got to take it, and puts the Sharks in a good position. I believe they're still first place in the Pacific Division, so they're in good they're in very good shape. They continue to be, and some impressive debuts on the road trip that are potentially going to leave them with some roster headaches going forward.
Now, before we move into that, I would like to hit you with what I hope to be a recurring feature on the Fear the Fincast. Here's the overreactionary Fear the Fin tweet of the road trip. This is a pretty good one. Hold on, this is good.
Is it from me?
No. This is not. We didn't tweet this. Someone tweeted this at the Fear the Fin account. To be
Can
clear.
I get on this? Like am I exempt?
Martin Jones. You can't. You're not exempt. I know. What? Anyone is eligible for this. I'm just saying this was in the mentions of the Fear the Fin account.
Okay, good.
Relax over there. Good Lord, it's only 9:30 in the morning. God, I tweeted I'm just giving context. I'm not nominating myself for this, to be clear. I tweeted Martin Jones wasn't at his best tonight, but 6 out of 8 points on this road trip is very good. I won't give the name of the person who tweeted this, mostly because I don't want any idiots to be going into this person's mentions like assholes. So don't do that. Don't be a dick. This is just
2005, guys. Don't be an a-hole.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Thank you. Sure, in a division that is cutthroat for points. So, sorry guys, apparently the Sharks got booted out of the Pacific last night. We got dropped right into the Metropolitan Division. So
Yeah, right.
now we have to take the division seriously again. No more fun. 6 out of 8 points is no longer good enough. It's over.
Man. That's a hot take. That is a hot take.
Your overreactionary Sharks take of the Fear the Fincast. So we can move
That's good. I like this as a regular feature.
Yeah. Oh man, I can have one of these every single podcast without even trying. Moving on.
Cutthroat.
Let's talk about the roster. Cutthroat.
Look at the division standing. Like they've got 2 games in hand. LA's got a game in hand on them, and they're up 5 points on LA.
I know.
They've got a game in hand on Edmonton, and they're up 2 points on them. They're played as many games as the Ducks, and they've got 2 points. Like the Sharks are the only team above 500 in the division, other than the Kings.
I know.
Like that's just. And I'm not going 500 by points percentage. I'm going by wins and then losses plus overtime losses, because that's how you really do it.
Right. Also, worth noting that, and I didn't know this until the Justin Bieber of Twitter @Jeffler tweeted this the other day. Did you know that that goal differential on NHL.com is calculated by that they include they add or subtract a +1, -1 for shootout wins and losses.
What?
You get a +1 on goal differential.
I hope they get rid of the loser point in the next CBA. Like
it makes me like just unreasonably angry.
Like,
they just need to bring
the loser
give me
point.
the tide, baby. I'm ready. 3 points at a time.
Why wouldn't you use the loser point in the playoffs then? If you have it in your regular season.
Because the NHL is stupid. That's why.
Oh man,
it's a stupid league.
Yeah.
I love hockey, but I hate the NHL.
Yeah. Well said.
That's basically every NHL fan, though. So none of us are fans of the league. We just like hockey.
Even fans who have like significant disagreements about how they view the game, how they view the sport. Like I think that's a pretty unanimous.
Yeah. I mean, we can all join arms on hating the NHL. It's like, no, I'm a hockey fan. I'm not an NHL fan. Jesus Christ, watch your mouth. Yeah. It'd be like saying, be like talking to soccer fans and be like, oh yeah, no, big FIFA fan. Love FIFA.
Yeah. Not quite the widespread corruption that we know of.
Well, that's because there's not enough competence in the NHL, nor enough money in the NHL to have such corruption.
Sepp Blatter for NHL commissioner.
Hey-o. Ooh, Blatter 2018. All right, we're gonna talk about the Sharks roster before I get oh wait, I almost said impeached because I apparently have U.S. politics on the brain. Nice. Solid. Wow, I can't even think of the word right now. We're just gonna move on.
Sidetracked.
Okay. Anywho, roster. Sharks roster. They have got 14 forwards on the roster, and actually have 14 forwards that allegedly can play in an NHL game tomorrow night. Well, theoretically, on Friday, there was a potential that they couldn't if Logan Couture couldn't play because he wasn't an LTIR, all right? There was a Michael Haley joke. Just play with me here, all right? We're moving on. We're walking. Good Lord. Marcus is giving me all kinds of shit with his faces today.
Oh, my. It's great.
He's sitting there in his, Disneyland T-shirt at 9:40 in the morning thinking that he's, got this superiority complex.
I wouldn't say. I just got a smile on my face, man. I think you're reading into it.
It's Monday. All right. So I don't know what the Sharks are going to do about this. To be honest with you,
I have no idea. I think this is the first. We were talking about before the show. This is the first time I can recall this season they've had 14 healthy forwards when they've been at home. They had 14 forwards to start that road trip that. Carlson got injured in, and then Tomas Hertl got injured in, and then all of a sudden it was a war of attrition. They were a MASH unit pretty much. There's a Rogue One reference to make, but I won't make it.
Thank you.
I don't want to ruin it for Jake. He hasn't seen it yet, and it's too early. It's too soon. January podcast. I'm gonna be.
It's on the table. Yeah,
I'll be dropping some references. But yeah, no, I think it's going to be interesting to see. I think they could just keep everybody. They've certainly got the cap space, but that hasn't really been Doug Wilson's MO this season. So I think they've got they've got some interesting decisions to make here. The guys who were scratched last night, excuse me, were it was Michael Haley and Matt Nieto. Both of them would require waivers to get sent down. You'd be losing either for free if they got claimed. I'm not sure if either of them would get claimed. I'm not sure what the interest on them around the league is. I think it's safe to say it's not very high. Could waive Dylan DeMello as well, but I think they want the insurance defenseman. And
his interest level is much higher.
Yeah, he's been too good.
Yeah,
I think to waive. So, Wilson, I think, has a couple options. I think he can send down Timo Meier before. He could probably, maybe send down Meier today for the technical, nature of the transaction. Call him back up tomorrow. Have him play. The Barracuda do play tomorrow at 1:15.
Oh my God!
Against the Stockton Heat.
Can you? Now that's a good question. Could he play in both games?
That I am not sure. I am going to look that up.
I don't think
I believe people have played AHL and NHL games in the same day.
Oh, that would be insane. I wouldn't do that with my first round draft picks, but you theoretically
no.
Could.
2014, Rocco Grimaldi played for the AHL Rampage and then played for the Colorado Avalanche for the Panthers, at the same day.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Played for the Rampage Tuesday morning, and then he flew to then he hopped on a plane to Los Angeles and played for the Panthers.
Well, I'm sure he didn't get on a bus from San Antonio.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Well, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if they do one of those Cap movie Timo Meier send down call up things. And if they do that, I am not writing, and this is saying right now, I'm not writing a paper move post about this. I did that all last season, and I swear to God, I'm not doing it, Doug Wilson.
I'll do it so we get the hits. I'll do it so we get the hits.
Okay.
We get the traffic. We get the traffic.
That's sweet traffic. Yeah, I love that.
What do you think they should do?
Well, I think that they should send out Michael Haley, and that should be the end of it.
Yeah.
And they should never call him up again. But I also think that they should waive Matt Nieto and call up Nikolai Goldobin if they're not going to play him. Because Matt Nieto's not a guy anymore. So so move on then. I don't know what to tell you.
Bring up a Ryan Carpenter as the 13th forward,
yeah, exactly. Let Nieto play with the Barracuda. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah,
I thought the group they dressed last night, I think that's a fine group. I think that Tommy Wingels has played well enough, at least scored enough, that he's earned a spot on the roster. Especially given how little the Sharks have scored this year, you're not gonna scratch a guy that's got 4 goals when nobody else has close to 4 goals. So that's just the way it's gonna go. So I think having that, a fourth line, with Tommy Wingels, Joe Ward, and Melker Karlsson, it's a really good fourth line. That is fine. I'm perfectly fine with dressing that. Yeah, exactly. And then once Hurdle comes back, okay, you bump down one, and maybe if you scratch Wingels at that point, then then that's a tough decision, but happy to make. But yeah, I think with this roster now, I don't have a problem scratching Nieto over who do you put Nieto in the lineup for? Over Karlsson?
Yeah.
No way. Over Ward? No way.
Yeah, I think we're at
Meier? No way. Over the bank? No way. He's been forced out by better, younger players.
I think we're at the point now with the lineup where, if they are carrying 14, Nieto's pretty firmly the 13th best forward on the team. We thought he was probably the 12th best forward when Meier wasn't up, but it's clear that that's at least through a few games that's reconfigured it. He has only played 2 games, so, but you score in your first game. I'm not sure if that, you'll get sent down. I wouldn't be surprised if they send him down. I think I could see them keeping 14 and just, doing these paper moves, like just working the Barracuda shuttle to keep the cap room maximized. I think it's going to come to a head though when Tomas Hertl's healthy.
To me, that's when I just feel like it's pointless. I feel like they could send down and Haley, or just Nieto and keep Haley up as the 13th guy. I've got no problem with that. And if they want to put in Haley every once in a while, if they want to have him as insurance, as insurance, because you should have a 13th forward, or as a guy if they want to have the ability to have this wake up call type guy, then that's fine. Yeah. That's the coach's prerogative. I don't have a problem with that either. And then Nieto gets to play more regularly with the Barracuda. I think that's good also. I think that's fine. I think you're just dicking around otherwise. And I think then if Nieto gets picked up, okay, cool. Then he gets an opportunity to go play somewhere else. Because I feel like I understand the Dylan DeMello thing where to let him go for nothing. Nieto is clearly not that guy, so give him a chance to either play regularly with the Barracuda or give him an opportunity to play somewhere else. Because right now, I feel like what the Sharks are doing with Nieto is kind of a dick move.
Yeah,
I understand that it's a business, and it's they have an obligation to do what's right for the Sharks, but they're gaining nothing here.
And it's a player they drafted. They drafted him, 5 years ago in the second round. They thought highly of him. Clearly thought highly enough of him to draft him there. I think he's never really lived up to the promise, so to speak, of that first year, but he also really hasn't matched the height, the standard he set in that first season. He was so good with Couture and Marleau on that, the Sharks de facto second line under Todd McClellan. I think if he got waived, I think there's a good chance that he could get claimed. I mean, he's only 24 years old. He's still an RFA. He's on a pretty cheap deal. He does have some speed. I still think he's an NHL player. I just don't think he's better than 12 of the Sharks forwards right now. Now, if they send down, Timo Meier and they just wait, they're basically just bring up Meier for road trips and they just kind of wait out the hurdle injury and then they, make these hard decisions. I could see it, but I think they would have liked to have Nieto maybe play a little more and, kind of have his trade value a little higher. At some point you just got to cut your loss. You got to realize it's a sunk cost. You might not get a lot for him and just, you got to do what's best for the roster. And I think, we've seen Wilson is willing to do that when guys, get passed on the depth chart. I mean, he signed Adam Burrish to that long 4-year deal. Waived him after 2 years.
Contracts of all time that Wilson has made. That was terrible.
He admitted the mistake and he waived him.
Yeah. Well, but I think the thing is that Matt Nieto has maybe not when he was drafted, but I mean, I think the past couple of years and I can't speak for Doug Wilson, but we know this is not a guy that's ever going to have any trade value because the NHL as a whole doesn't value a player like this. This is the kind of guy that this is like a sleeper guy that you're going to be able to have as possessions driven, that is not going to score, but is still valuable on your fourth line or third line or whatever. He's going to fulfill a role, but he's not, this is the kind of role player that coaches should be looking for, not Michael Haley, but that's not the kind of role player most coaches or GMs are looking for. So he's never going to be valuable trade-wise. It's just not going to happen. So, I think that either the Sharks need to play him, and right now you're right, it doesn't make sense. I mean, I don't see a reason for them to send out Timo Meier at this point. I feel like to me, he's the kind of guy. Once you call him up, you're not sending him back down.
You got to give him more of a look. He's only played 2 games. I mean, he scored a goal in his first game. I thought he played decently against the Blackhawks, and
he led the team in Corsi.
Yeah, I mean he's +11. Yeah, he's establishing himself in the same way LeBanc did. LeBanc hasn't been sent down. I think they knew.
I mean, at this point, you can't send LeBanc down because LeBanc's been too good and scored too much.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's got 5 goals. Like you were talking about wing goals.
Yeah,
I think you just cut bait. I'm not sure what the waiver order is for the NHL. I'm pulling up Cap Friendly. I want to see who's got what in terms of salary cap space. I mean, I think there'd be some interest in Matt Nieto.
But like a guy like remind me the other his Long Beach buddy that just got waived didn't get anything.
Emerson Edom.
Yeah, he went right to the AHL. And if nobody picked up Emerson Edom, nobody's picking up Matt Nieto.
Edom got waived recently?
Yeah.
The Ducks waived him?
I believe so, right?
Wow, you're right. He's playing with the goals. I did not realize he got waived.
Nobody is going to take Matt Nieto. I can almost guarantee.
Edom's a former first rounder, right?
That's what I'm telling you, dude. People do not value players like that, and that's why the NHL sucks.
I mean, he had 12 points in 39 games last year. Yes, I realized Vancouver was bad, but like
they were really bad. I don't know what line he was playing on. I guess in fairness,
he's had like 10 or 11 points in every NHL season, but he has never played more than 45 games.
I know. Like, he's also been shuttled around from team to team to team to team. He's never had any consistency with any coach, with any team, with anything.
If this was a different Sharks team and they didn't have,
I know that's a guy I would like to give a
that's a guy Wilson would have claimed. Like when he played Kyle Wellwood, like that. Yep. That's
like the 2010-11 Sharks would have absolutely given Emerson Edom a look.
Yeah,
but this team is too deep in the like this year especially. I think this is a Sharks team that I don't even like look at guys that get waived anymore because the team's too deep in the prospect pipeline.
Yeah,
like even guy like Teddy Purcell that the Kings waived.
Yeah,
that's a guy that during the offseason I was really interested in, but now it's like they don't have a spot for him. They really don't. I still think Teddy Purcell's an NHL player, but I mean the Sharks don't need.
I think Emerson
Edom don't need anybody.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, maybe. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, if Edom didn't get claimed, then I don't think.
Way Nieto gets claimed.
No way. I think maybe Edmonton. I mean, he was certainly more of a regular with Todd McClellan than he was here, and I think
that's a good point. I guess.
I think the Oilers. Have the space. I'm looking right now at the cap.
They've got to have cap space.
The Edmonton Oilers they got $4 million in cap space. Like,
how is that all they have? What are they doing over there? Lighting money on fire?
I mean, you got to think he's better than. Like, I'm looking at some of their wingers. He's better than Matt Hendricks. Yes, he doesn't offer the physicality. Like, they've got Zach Kassian. Like they've got guys on two-way deals. I think that could be a landing spot for him if he got waived. I really do. But and then I would have, but then again, I even though Edom wasn't necessarily a regular with the Ducks, I would have thought Minnesota could potentially have been a landing spot for him when he got waived. And now to see that he's playing with the San Diego Gulls is yeah, so maybe the Long Beach Bros will reunite in the AHL. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they do tomorrow because very quickly the decisions are coming to a head. Like you said, once you call up Meyer, you pretty much committed to. And I don't think they expected to face this decision because I don't think they expected Kevin LeBanc to come up.
Right.
I think they expected. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I've been right. I've been running the those AHL scoring rate numbers all season, and yeah, I mean, LeBanc in 8 games was 1.62 points per game. Putting up ungodly numbers. I'm pulling it up right now. I mean, the Sharks even now still have, or the CUDA have other guys that are at rates 20 games into the season that are that project anyway at being. NHL guys, and that's I mean, it's great news. That none of this is a problem, obviously.
Yeah,
but there are going to be more of these decisions coming down the pipe. Like right now, Timo Meyer was at 0.88 points per game. So the rule of thumb, anyway, that someone a lot smarter than me came up with is
if you're 0.75,
then if you're 21 or under, and then if you're then a point a game if you're 22 or older.
Okay.
That's for forwards.
So what's Goldobin at this season?
Goldobin right now is at 0.71.
Okay, so he's right at that because he's struggled to find the back of the net lately. From what I'm reading.
Yeah, and he had an assist goal yesterday.
Okay, good. Good.
Got hurt. He got kneed yesterday.
That's right. Bad. But he came back, right?
Yeah, he did come back.
Good.
And so, he went on a pretty good tear to start the season, then cooled off. His overall AHL scoring, he's a 0.75 a game player over the 2 seasons, which is good, obviously. Adam Haluka had a big day yesterday, and in only 11 games, he's at 0.72. news. Daniel O'Regan is still lighting it up. He's
Yeah.
1.14 point a game. That's an older guy. Obviously, he's 22, but that's freaking incredible. Tim Heed is still amazing. I mean, again, an older guy, 25. That is old, but 0.95 points a game, for a defender, that's, 6 goals and 14 assists. He's not doing it only one way. That's legit. And I know the Sharks do not have, they do not have a space for a defender right now, but they're going to. And that's a guy that they're going to have to think about when the expansion draft rolls around at this point.
I think if the Sharks get a defenseman claimed, I think he gets a shot next year. The thing I'm interested to see, and I haven't watched him play enough, is, is he a TJ Brennan, a classic quadruple A player who dominates the AHL, but hasn't he really wouldn't say he's really gotten a huge shake in the NHL, but doesn't put up the same scoring numbers. Watching Heat in the preseason, I think his game, would translate pretty well. I think
he's played against adults for a while too, so it's not like he doesn't have that experience.
He was the defender of the year in Sweden.
And Sweden,
and that's not a bad league.
It is a pretty good league these days. That's where Timo Meyer, I believe, was playing, right? That's correct.
In Sweden?
Was he play?
No, Timo was
Switzerland.
Timo played Canadian Junior last year.
Oh, I'm sorry. I mean,
Goldobin?
Yes.
He played. Goldobin played in Finland. He played in Finland.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I knew it was one of those Scandinavian countries.
Yeah. So they're gonna have more tough decisions. So you think one or both of Haley or Nieto get waived tomorrow?
Yeah, I think Nieto gets waived tomorrow. I don't really see a reason to waive Haley, because I think that if you have just from a coaching standpoint, if the way that they're like this isn't necessarily even with what I would do, that's what I would do, because I don't see a reason to have Nieto sit in the press box. What good does that do?
Right.
Because if you're gonna, you either need to have him get better with the Barracuda, or you need to have him play. That's the two options. He's not good enough to play with what I think is the optimal Sharks lineup, so he should play with the Barracuda. Haley is a better guy to have sit in the press box. And I think that if you want to give a different look to the lineup, he's a guy that can actually provide that. And he's not terrible. So have him up there, then literally, and I mean literally, since I've been a Sharks fan, he's the best grinder the Sharks have had, I think.
Haley?
Right? Haley? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's better than Burrish was when he got signed. Better than Mike Brown. Certainly better than John Scott.
We love him, but he's certainly better than John Scott.
Yeah, listen, none of this has anything to do with the dudes. I don't know.
Yeah.
Michael Haley is the guy I know the least about. Adam Burrish was hilarious. Mike Brown had an incredible. I love Adam Burrish. He is hilarious.
Yeah.
Mike Brown had an incredible mustache. John Scott's one of the funniest people on the planet.
Yeah.
I've literally never heard Michael Haley talk before.
Yeah. He doesn't get many post game availability. Yeah, if you still want to keep that grinder forward on your roster, and I think it's safe to say the Sharks do, that might not necessarily be what I would do, but he's fine as your 13th forward. They have enough depth now where if he's still probably going to draw in the lineup over better players, and that'll frustrate us at times. But you can do so much worse.
The Sharks have done so much
Yeah,
worse.
exactly. And I think Haley's playing so well this year relative to those other guys is I think the Sharks' depth is a lot better than when Mike Brown and Adam Burrish were patrolling the fourth line in San Jose. And their forward depth, I think, it's unquestionably better. But yeah, and I would think Haley is the guy, but I could also see them just keeping 14. If they do waive Nieto and he does not get claimed, his entire cap hit would come off the books because he's under the $950,000. So they'd have $735,000 in cap space. And I'm looking up, who. And I don't think he's subject. I don't think re-entry waivers are a thing anymore. I think the NHL got rid of that in the most recent CBA. Yeah, because right now the Sharks are right up against the cap. So, if they waive Nieto and he's got 735, they could then much more easily absorb some of these other contracts of guys, when they get called up, if they wanted to call up Marcus Sorensen, or if they wanted to call up Mirko Mueller, they wanted to call up Goldobin, like they'd be a little farther off, but they'd still
remember they're going to have to send out another guy, obviously, once
once Hurdles. And I wonder too if they just keep this as is right now, because they've seen so many injuries but I think you gotta give guys games, and if you don't think Nieto is going to get hurt, his presence will probably help the Barracuda. I mean, I don't think Nieto's really had an extended stint in the AHL in his career.
No,
I'm not sure if he's ever played in the AHL.
To be honest, I don't know.
I
didn't really follow the AHL team at all until they were in San Jose.
Yeah, no, he hasn't played. He's played 2 games for the Worcester Sharks. That's right. His first season, he played 2 games for Worcester. He had 5 points.
Wow.
So
that's good.
Yeah, I think it's getting, if you want to save that, if you want to accrue the cap space and you're hopeful that he's not going to get claimed, I don't think he would get claimed. I think it's probably time to send him down.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think it's time to send him down. And then once Hurdle comes back, you waive Tommy Wingels. And
really, you think so? Even if they're still struggling for goals?
Well, of course. Yeah, Tommy Wingels scored. Listen, goals past do not indicate goals future.
Yeah.
Tommy Wingels isn't good. I don't care.
I think Wingels has more value than Nieto, though. I think you could.
Oh yeah, sure. I'm saying that, but Nieto's already. No.
You don't think so?
Tommy Wingels getting paid $2 million. I mean, listen, if you could find an idiot that is going to trade you a 7th rounder for him, great, do it.
At the deadline, maybe you retain some salary.
Okay, sure.
I could see it. I think he has more trade value than Nieto.
Okay, right. But I mean, it's right to make an analogy. This bag of chips, which I've eaten almost all of, has more trade value than this.
Right.
Empty Starbucks cup.
Yeah, no, correct.
Correct. This is from Canada. This isn't.
Correct. I think a player like Wingels has more value than a player like Nieto. Even though Wingels doesn't score a lot, he's an intangible guy. He's good in the room, so to speak.
Okay. Well, whatever. My point was
you're not getting a lot. Don't.
Well, actually, me. Okay. So if you can find, wait. Let me use a visual aid here.
I want the visual aid. Yes, I deserve that after actually.
If you find a dinosaur, right, like in Montreal, that wants some empty ketchup chips, right? Like, oh man, I'll give you these ketchup chips, and the dinosaur's like, oh my god, he's so good in the room. You give him the ketchup chips, and then they give you I don't know, what else do I have here? This baseball hat. Well, it's also from Canada, and you're like, oh man, wow, this is basically useless to me, but it's better than nothing, and you take it. Then great, okay, fine, whatever.
Who do you think's more likely to get claimed off of waivers, Nieto or Wingels?
Oh, Wingels for sure.
Even with the contract?
Yeah. Because Nieto is 0%, and Wingels is 1%.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I think that's. I mean, they're gonna have some tough decisions when Hurdle gets back.
It's not tough. No, Marcus, it's not. That's not tough. I know you want it to be tough. It's not tough. Wingels.
I don't. I will say. I'm just saying for the it's on the personal side of the business, that will be a hard. That would be a hard call for Wilson to make. And I know it's a business. And Wingels has been there a long time.
Doug Wilson doesn't give a shit. I don't know. We're not going to pretend Doug Wilson cares. Doug Wilson has been perfectly happy to put a fucking child that's Dylan DeMello in the fucking box.
True. I hope
that with withering away his career just because he doesn't want him to go away for nothing. Right. Doug Wilson doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, that's true. No, that's true. You make a good point. So I hope they could go the Ryan Clough, Douglas Murray trade route.
Oh, me too.
Michael Hansen and get something.
I also hope so. Absolutely. Yeah. That would be great.
I mean, what did they get for Clough? Didn't they get a second and a third?
Well, no, that Murray trade that's Doug Wilson's best trade of all time. That was
They got what, 2 seconds?
2 seconds.
Man.
That literally was the bag of ketchup chips.
Do we know who they picked with those picks? Because they got a lot of picks that deadline.
That's a good question. I'm not going to look it up because I don't want to give it away for nothing. We should write a post about that.
That's a good trade deadline post idea.
It absolutely is. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. So yeah, we got to watch Calgary tomorrow. That should be pretty fun. I
like both these teams that are coming to the tank this week. Calgary, they're not a great team, but I think they're a pretty fun team to watch. Anytime you can watch Johnny Gaudreau play is a blessing.
He is my least favorite player to watch play against the Sharks.
Really?
He just absolutely just terrorizes San Jose.
Oh,
anytime he just eats them alive. Like he is one of those players, and this is true last night as well. And I'm sure you noticed this. They had Taves and Kane out together a lot last night, and against the captain line, they just dominate them.
Oh yeah, Taves and Kane dominated the Sharks for years.
Yeah, Joe Thornton cannot play with them. He is so slow.
Yeah.
Did you see that boarding penalty Thornton took against Taves last night?
No.
Just amazing how much Thornton hates Jonathan Taves. That's my favorite thing in the NHL. He's just up behind him. He's like, no, boom, just hits him cross.
I don't blame him.
Right in the numbers.
I'll say it. I don't blame him.
No, I hate Taves too. Screw that guy.
I through no fault of his own, I just don't like the fawning media coverage that surrounds him. And
I don't like his mashed potato-y face.
The desire to elevate him into the same conversation as Sidney Crosby at every turn is just
it's adorable. It's
please like my sport on every level.
Oh, absolutely. Remember that sorry, go ahead.
Can we talk a little Timo? We haven't really talked about his, we've said he's been good, but has Timo time lived up to the lofty expectations that we said? I mean, he scored a goal at his first NHL shot, so
it's everything I could have dreamed and more. I still don't have my Timo Meier jersey, but that's more a financial problem and less of a personal problem.
Right.
Or I guess now it's also a personal problem. So, little column A, little column B. Yeah, I think he's been great. I really, the goal is great. I really, really like his playmaking ability and just the way that he sees the rink is really everything I hoped it would be. I love his offensive instincts. Just when he gets the puck, it seems like he already knows where the other Sharks are going to be. And that's not because he has great chemistry with the guys he's playing with. That's just because he instinctively knows where a hockey player should be in a given situation when he's on the ice.
He's a very smart player.
He's just so smart.
I think the biggest thing I think I've noticed the last, games and change, and also a little bit watching him, when he was able to play for the little bit in the preseason is, they drafted him high and there were some questions because, he was bigger and stronger than his peers and he was a little older. But I think, he's very much, and it's kind of strange to say, but he's very much a prototypical Doug Wilson player. He just has a skill set and tools that we haven't seen in a prospect that they've drafted, like probably since Couture. And even then he has probably a better skill set than Couture had coming out of junior. Cause I remember when Couture got drafted, there were significant questions, I think, about his skating. They knew I believe it was his skating. They knew his hockey IQ. The Shark, like that's Wilson's MO. He loves to draft guys that have good hockey IQ and they figure, okay, we can teach them to skate, or we can get them bigger. We can get them stronger on a weight regimen. It's all about, that's like, it seems like that's the main, main reason. And, I think that's that step back year, you still kind of question why they did that. But when you're drafting in the top 10 of the draft, you have access to guys with skill sets that you wouldn't have drafting at the back of the first round. And I think that's been clear with Meier's first couple games. I think his skill set has really impressed me and, surprised me because they just haven't had a guy with, top end skating ability, top end, physicality, top end, goal scoring and playmaking, and skating ever, really, probably since like Marlowe.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is that they also haven't drafted very well at the top end of the draft. I think that's part of the thing as well. I mean, even a guy, when they drafted Mueller, right? That's a guy they took very high in the draft, and they just didn't do very well.
Yeah.
You think of their big guys that have succeeded. Couture obviously being one. That is a guy that they drafted that had question marks. But even a guy like Pavelski, who's obviously big time star, it's a guy that got late in the draft.
Yep.
And that's a guy who still can't skate.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I think that has more to do with it probably than anything is that the Sharks are, because of the way that they draft, are prone to get steals late in rounds and are prone to screw up top end draft picks.
Yeah.
And I think that probably lucked into Timo Meier a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I would still argue that, and it's pointless, and I don't think about it very often, but, guys like Barzal are probably still going to end up being better players in the long run. I don't think it matters at all. And I actually think that a guy like Meier is a better pick for the Sharks right now because the Sharks need to win right now, and Meier is ready right now. Guys like Barzal are not ready right now. So I'm not complaining by any extent of the words. I just think that it makes sense that if you look back at the way the Sharks have drafted in the past with Doug Wilson, that it makes sense that they got a guy that is more ready right now, and that it just happens that the guy because he's taken higher in the draft, he's more NHL ready. Because it just kind of fits in with the rest of their MO, the way that they've drafted in the past. So I think that that's just kind of all working out together. So I don't know. Better to be lucky than good sometimes. And honestly, the Sharks have been such an unlucky franchise in so many ways over the years that it's nice to have one of these in a big way, obviously, go their way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know what? I think that it's nice seeing them go high and take a European guy. Also, I was impressed by that.
What? All three of their last first round picks are all European.
Yep.
Mueller, Goldobin, and Meier. I know they were a little averse of that because they there was that draft, and I think it was 96 or 98 where they drafted all Finnish players at the top of the draft, and I'm pretty sure the only one who panned out that they drafted was Vesa Toskala, and even he panned out in Teal, but once they traded him to Toronto, his career went south pretty quickly.
Yeah, but without Vesa Toskala, you don't get Logan Couture.
That is very true. Yep, that is very true.
So the scouting, God willing, is a lot better now than it was in 1996. So
especially European scouting for sure.
And to me, the Sharks are the kind of franchise that's going to have to do very well in European scouting because we're always going to get beaten in Canadian scouting. We just aren't going to have the resources.
All three of those guys did play Canadian junior, though, to be fair.
Well, that's true. But hadn't they all played at some point in Europe?
I think so. I think
younger, right? But they came over and played junior at around the 16, 17 age, but they'd played before that.
I think I have to look up on each player, but I'm pretty sure each of their draft years was the first year they played in.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because I think I've looked at all their player pages and seen teams I've never heard of in languages I can't speak. So. Which would be a language other than English, to be clear. Chinese, obviously, I would be fluent, but once you get into Polish or something, I've got nothing.
You've got no shot. Yeah,
no shot. That Polish, yikes.
Meier Mueller played in his first season in Canadian junior was his draft year.
Yeah,
looking up Goldobin right now.
And that's the thing that's why I think that European scouting matters because you're talking about a 1 year sample size. It's just their draft year.
Goldobin played 2 years in Canadian junior before his draft year.
Where did he play junior?
Sarnia. He was on a terrible Sarnia team.
Redundant. Am I right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, they've been back. He was asked to do because that was really the report on him coming out was yes, he's a minus 30, but that's because his team is terrible and he has to he carried the load for them offensively.
I was gonna say, didn't he play he played crazy minutes? I think also.
Yeah, smart for them to send him to Finland that in between year between the AHL.
Yeah, it was
for sure.
So
and then Meier. I forgot to look up Meier. We were just talking about him.
Meier had a great year at junior last year, but obviously playing in a crappy junior league. Just playing in
the Q helps.
Yeah. But he did get to play on obviously on a very good team for the second half of that year. He started with Halifax and got traded to that.
Myers' second year as well was his second year was was his draft year. So
okay,
but obviously, I'm sure they saw him playing. They saw these guys playing, for the Russia under 18 or the Swiss under 18 teams. I'm sure they've seen these guys. They've seen these guys in context other than Canadian junior, and that's where the European scouting comes into play.
And the Sharks theoretically have always been good at that, and you kind of got to wonder how much or you hope anyway that the Hasso-Plattner ownership has an effect at some point.
Oh yeah, I'd imagine it has.
That they get some kind of an influence there.
I'd imagine it has. I mean, and even too, just outside of the draft, their European pro scouting. I mean, they've signed Donskoy, Carlson, Heed, all those guys.
Yep, absolutely. All right, so you'll be at practice tomorrow, maybe at the game. We'll see. I know that's a Barracuda Sharks doubleheader, so that's always a little bit dicey because of all the scoots in the area. All right, well, the Sharks play Tuesday, then not again until I believe it's when do they play again? Is it Friday?
Friday against Edmonton.
Yeah. So we get Todd McClellan back in the Shark tank for the first time this season, and then another break for the weekend, and then at Anaheim on Tuesday. So we'll do another one of these at some point. I'm going to be on the road next Monday on my way to beautiful Denver, Colorado.
Hey now.
Yeah, I've got on Tuesday next week. I will be at the Flames Colorado Avalanche game.
Okay.
Doing some scouting. I'm going to try to bring Johnny Gaudreau home with me, and Nate McKinnon also.
Steal them both. Drop them on Doug Wilson's doorstep.
Absolutely. Hey, while we're here, just got an email from the NHL Network. They ranked the top 30 NHL sweaters of all time. Would you like to guess what the number one sweater of all time?
Montreal.
No, they are number 3. They're 1984 to 1997.
Are the Sharks one?
They're in the top 5.
Good, because I know they won the hockey news. And
I know
when you walk in like the club level, because that's right by the security entrance, they have they have all these like kind of cheesy they cut out magazine spreads and frame them. They have the one of the Sharks jersey being named the best jersey of all time framed.
Nice,
which is awesome.
That's great.
Number one, is it Chicago?
No, Chicago is below the Sharks.
Detroit?
Which is no, that Detroit's not even in the. Oh my God, Detroit's 13th. I'm going to be writing an article about this. This is going to be.
So
great.
Who's number one? This is shocking. Is it Ducks 93, 94?
The Quebec Nordiques.
Their jersey's overrated. I'll say
3 of the top 5 teams are
don't
longer.
exist, right?
Yeah.
Oh God. So who is it? It's Quebec,
Minnesota North Stars.
Yeah,
Montreal Canadiens, Hartford Whalers, and then the Sharks.
I'm fine with the Whale being ahead of the Sharks. That's a great logo.
Yeah, it's great. The North Star sucks though. That's a terrible logo.
Oh yeah, no,
and the Northeast is mediocre as hell, and the Canadiens is way overrated.
The North Stars just have great colors.
Yeah, it's fine. I just think the logo's terrible.
I don't think the logo's. I don't think the pattern of their jersey was particularly cool either.
And the Canadiens logo is dumb.
And it's the Sharks OG jerseys that are 5th, right?
Yeah, 91, 97.
I mean, what they're apparently they're switching the alternate next year. This is the last year of the black armor.
Yeah,
you have to think.
Yeah, because they're doing the whole jersey redesign for the whole league is coming next year because of the
Oh, it's the first Adidas year.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So right, that's why they had to wait until next year to do it. I think.
Do you think the third is going to be a throwback, or do you think it's going to be those new secondary marks that they introduced over the summer?
So I think 3rd is the secondary marks. Well, no. I guess I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I have no idea.
I mean, they should that jersey. They brought back the jersey for the 25th anniversary. I think that should be a full-time alternate. I think. Yeah,
that should be their full-time jersey.
I was about to say the same. Thing.
Just make that their home jersey. That's that. Yeah. I want to buy. That's what I want to. I want to buy one of those.
Yeah, I love those jerseys. I was so happy when they wore them last year.
I know. I was thinking my next jersey I wanted to be one of those, but I kind of want a Meyer jersey, and he hasn't worn it yet, so I can't buy one.
So it's a jersey foul, yeah.
Which I don't care about, obviously.
And you'd fit right in San Jose because we are the city of jersey fouls.
Oh, no. Anaheim is the city of Jersey Fouls. Kidding
Yeah,
me?
yeah,
Oh,
they're
dude.
both fan bases.
Have you?
Every puck daddy roundup of Jersey Fouls. It's pretty much like exclusively Sharks and Ducks fans with just like
Yeah, absolutely.
some kind of like awful pun. Like,
Yeah, it's like, well, it's suburbs. It's suburb fans. It's San Jose isn't a city. It's a
yeah,
suburb.
yeah,
Anaheim isn't a city. It's a
yeah,
suburb.
yeah.
You know, it's like, or like, if Florida had fans, it would be the same way.
Right.
Or Arizona, it would be the same. Or Ottawa, because Ottawa's not a city. It's like, because Ottawa's like a transient city, so
Yeah.
it's not really a city.
And their arena's in like a really bad spot apparently.
Right, it's in a suburb. Yeah,
Near nothing.
Near nothing. It's actually not even in a suburb. It's literally in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, exactly. So, exactly, that's the way it goes. All right, well, we'll do a post on this. Maybe we could do a ranking of our top 5 jerseys also.
Yeah, that could be fun.
I'll send out an email to people and see if I can get some feedback on that.
I would definitely have where did the Ducks purple?
Those are some of the you don't like those.
Oh, I love those. Are you kidding me? I love those. I love them because of the movies. Like,
those movies suck.
Okay, yes, but they were part of my childhood. Like,
well, your childhood sucked.
Hey, I'm not one to disagree, but
okay, all right. They're ranked 20th. They ranked them above the California Golden Seals.
Yeah, that's I wouldn't do that. I do think the Ducks should wear those old ones full time.
By the way, when is that California Golden Seals throwback night? That's coming up soon.
That's coming up. Yeah, I saw the ad for that. That looks awesome.
I have a Golden Seals shirt. I do have a Golden Seals shirt. It's pretty sweet. You should see if you can grab yourself one of those.
And apparently they're gonna be selling merchandise on the concourse, so I might go early and like pick up a.
Yeah.
I've wanted a Golden Seals hat for a while.
You just take the credential and you just.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you go before you pick it up, and you get
dressed nicely. What's up?
You wouldn't be the only one. You'd be like those. Haven't you ever been there before, where you see like the group of like a very well dressed like Japanese tourists that go to like the game, and
or the businessmen who come like right from work.
Right, exactly. It's like so big.
Yeah. I think it's January 7th.
Like this the game? Oh, is it?
I think that's the game. I can look up their schedule.
That's the game it's the Wings game. Interesting. That's what we should have done for the Fear of the Fin night. Speaking of, wow, what a segue. January 14th. I'm like Timo Meyer or David Schlemko right out of the zone.
Oh, the transition game is beautiful. Yeah.
You can go on to fearthefin.com. It's a pinned story on there. You can buy your tickets. There's a link. Use the promo code FEAR. I have my tickets even now. Finally, you can. It looks like there were not that many seats left, so you probably want to get on that. We're doing what do we have lined up right now? A post-game on ice photo. That's going to be pretty cool. It's also an opportunity to have your photo have like some kind of photo opportunity inside the penalty box pregame, which is cool if you're into that sort of thing. So yeah, it's you have the opportunity anyway to buy both a Barracuda and a Sharks ticket. The Cuda tickets are really cheap. I think it's like $5 or something crazy like that. The Sharks tickets are like $40, I think, for upper bowl. You can get lower bowl, and I think that's quite a bit more expensive. I think that's closer to like $70, but they are lower bowl, and if you can afford that, Godspeed. I certainly can't. So yeah, January 14th against the Blues. That should be a really good game.
Yeah,
that's the plug.
Western Conference Finals rematch.
Woo! All right. You can follow Marcus on Twitter at Marcus P. White. You can follow me on Twitter at Jake Sundstrom. If you aren't subscribed to us on iTunes already, that'd be a lot easier than however you found this today. That's Fear the Fin. You can follow us on Twitter at Fear the Fin.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to do this again sometime.
Yes. Sometime soon.
Most likely. All right. We'll talk to you guys again when we do this sometime again soon.
Bye, guys.